More than 400,000 Australians grapple with the effects of dementia on their lives every day. And thanks to the marvels of technology, life is becoming more manageable for them and those who care for them as well. Joining me to talk about a few high-tech dementia busters is author and futurist Gihan Perera. Welcome, Gihan.
Thanks, Jenny. Great to be here.
Great to have you with us. And we are at a time where we're truly starting to understand dementia, how it affects people. Well, technology is also developing rapidly. Would you say this is an exciting time for the treatment of dementia?
It is very much so, because we've always mental health issues are increasing, and there are lots and lots of people, like you said, who are suffering from dementia. But the amazing thing is that we've got some great technology that can help those people, their carers, their family and their friends.
Yeah, so tell us about how technology is benefiting, say, the memories of those with dementia.
Yes, see, a lot of people who are suffering from dementia, they have very strong memories about the past. And some of the technology that's helping them are helping them remember go back into their past to a time that they can remember. They were happy, they have very joyful memories. And so one of them is just a simple app which is called Spark Memories, and that's a radio station that plays music from their past. So it's a simple app where you sign up, you put in your name and your birth date, and of course you can do this for your loved one, and then it'll automatically play the music from the era when they were growing up. So
Oh, wow.
It's like they're going back into their past. And it's a very simple idea, but there's some research that shows that music is very relaxing for the brain, and this is just a clever way of connecting that with people who have those happy memories from their past and want to go back into that.
And what about virtual reality?
And that's really exciting, because the whole idea of virtual reality is you put on a headset and you're transported into this computer-generated world. And in the UK, there's this virtual reality system called the Wayback Project, which helps people with Alzheimer's relive some of the happy memories from their past. So one of their VR apps takes people back to the Queen's coronation, so way back in the 1950s, and they've kind of built this from old footage of the time, and they've built this virtual reality world where you can put on this headset and you're looking at what you might have seen when you were watching the coronation back more than 50 years ago now.
Wow. And this is because we're starting to realise as well that it's much better to embrace those delusional, kind of worlds that people with dementia go into rather than fight them, right?
Well, it's for all of us. We have these happy memories. I remember happy memories from my childhood, and this going back into that time does bring you back into a time when you were quite happy, and it generates those emotions just as it does for anybody else. And so if we can trigger those emotions, then it certainly makes people happier. And virtual reality, I don't know how much you've used it, Jenny, but it's amazing. It's really amazing now, where even though you put on this headset, it really feels like you're in a completely different environment. And there are some virtual reality apps now that anyone can use, where you put on a headset and you're walking around and you want to you're at the edge of a tall building, and you have to step off the building. And even though you're in this completely imaginary world, your mind and your body just won't allow you to take that step, even though all you're doing is stepping across a little bit of carpet. So it really does take you back into that world.
Oh, wow. I think I need to explore the virtual reality world a little bit more. Author and futurist Gihan Perera is with me. We're talking about the marvels of technology and helping people with dementia. And one thing that a lot of us know about people with dementia is there can be a bit of a flight risk sometimes, people wandering off. Tell me about this and how technology is helping that.
So there's some really clever technology that was designed not only for this area. So there are apps that will help you with your little kids. If you take them to the park and you want to make sure that they stay close to you, that they will alert you if your kids are wandering off. And of course, that same idea can now be applied to people with dementia, because you can give them the same app, or it could be a bracelet or a watch that they wear, and you can program how far away they can be from you before it raises an alarm. And it's a really clever idea, because it means that for carers who have to be 100% on and always thinking about their family member or their friend with dementia, it just gives them a little bit of relief, because something a rather than them having to keep an eye on them 100% of the time.
And there's also, there are applications for voice-activated personal assistants to answer simple questions.
Yes, so we have this already. So we have this if you've got Google Home or you've got Siri or you've got Alexa, then they're voice-activated now, so you don't have to type in on this tiny little screen. You don't have to type in your questions. So you can ask simple questions like Google, what's the weather going to be today, or what time is it, or even what day is it? And just being able to ask that with your voice rather than having to walk over to a device and type into it is something that's so much easier for everybody. And for most of us, we think of it as convenience. For people with dementia and people who struggle with technology, it's just it's essential. It's the only way that they would feel comfortable finding out answers to these questions. And these are sort of things that they might be worried about. They might be embarrassed about having to ask, but if they can ask this computer and this technology and they get the answers instantly, it just makes their life a little bit easier.
And another thing that many people with dementia, particularly in the later stages, struggle with is remembering, to take pills or do certain things throughout the day. And there's something that you can do if you're caring for someone with dementia with a piece of technology to help remind them.
That's right. So this is like a more sophisticated version of voice recognition app that so if you're caring for someone with dementia, you get the app and then you program it with things like pills. You have a schedule when your parent or your grandparent has to take the pills, and you program it with your voice. And at the time, it will then activate, and it will be your voice reminding them gently to take their pills or go for a walk or lock the doors at night or call somebody and have a chat. And all of that happens with your voice. So it's not just this distant robotic voice, it's your voice, so the person feels comfortable, and it's automated so that it happens at the right time. It doesn't replace you being there, but it certainly helps that person live a little bit more independently.
And Gihan Perera, how can we find out more about you and your 12 books?
Yeah, thanks, Jenny. The most recent book I've written is Disruption by Design, but you can find that and more about me at my website, which is gihanperera.com.
Well, I really appreciate your time today. Thanks so much for joining me.
Thanks, Jenny. It's been a pleasure.